Hi, this is Frank with Readphone Studios. Today we're going to be doing a video that's a pretty big departure from the videos that I've done in the past here on this channel. Most notably that this is a drawing video rather than a story reading video. I figured it's been over a year since I last posted anything, so a change in the structure of the content as well as a change in the content itself was due by this point, and I've gained some new skill sets since my last videos were posted, so I figured might as well put those to use while I'm figuring all this stuff out for Temporal Shards. For those who are curious, the programs that I'm using for everything will be linked in the description. The drawing is being done in Autodesk Sketchbook, the audio recording is being done in Audacity, the video editing is done in Hitfilm Express, and the actual screen recording is done in Flashback Express. They're all free or close to free programs. I've been using Autodesk Sketchbook for a long time as well as Audacity, so I've sort of got an affinity for the two of them, and they're both basically free. Autodesk Sketchbook has a bit of a monetary system, but Audacity is just free for everyone, which is fantastic. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just sketching in the details of her sword blade, because Krys is a teacher of real-world self-defense at Solari Gold Academy in the ternary storyline of Temporal Shards, along with Amethyst and Pyre. Now we're getting into the handle detail, which I like to just kind of make the metal not really like reflective, but just kind of shiny. I think it looks nice. Onto the handle, just getting all the little details in there. Temporal Shards has been in development for pretty close to a year now, and I figured if I want to start getting some people excited for it, I might want to start actually making some online content for it, so I don't have to worry about other forms of editing, or not editing, promoting. So this is what I've decided to do. I'm gonna, over the next year or so, until the game's release, I'm gonna make art every couple of days for different various cards that appear in the card game. The actual building of the drawing is sort of takes place obviously in many different phases, but also through many different art styles. I kind of jump around a lot from art style to art style just based on what's influencing me at the time, what I like, what I think looks good, and also kind of a combination of what I've always done, which you can see here in the lenses. It's not, I don't think it's fantastic, but it's, you know, you do with what you can, and as long as you're doing what you think looks good, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. So just getting in more of the smaller details. Now we're working on the helmet. Just put a legend up for all the colors that are being used, so I can easily just run and grab any color that I need. Obviously that's a pretty standard drawing tactic, but you know, there's a lot of things that I didn't know starting out that I think would be helpful for people who are just starting on digital drawing, so I'm really not qualified to actually give tips. You should go to to an actual professional art channel for that. Really, I'm just sort of doing what I do, and if anybody likes it, then that's great, and if nobody likes it, then that's fine too, because I'm going to continue to do it, and I'm going to continue to get joy out of it, because it's what I want to do. So right now we're just getting in the details of the chest plate. I have to say, it's really interesting to see your own work going in fast motion. I'm watching this as a record because I figure that's easiest. You get to see all the mistakes that the artist makes along the way. I've always really enjoyed videos like this, like especially for Magic the Gathering art pieces. I occasionally like to just sit for a moment or two while drawing to just kind of take it in, see where I'm going, see what needs to be done still, just kind of get my head around everything. Probably shouldn't breathe directly on the mic. Oh, the mic that I'm using to do this is a Snowball Ice Blue microphone. I've only used it 2 or 3 times than I bought it like a year ago. It was $80, so that's another thing that I would like to do, is get some more use out of this microphone. But yeah, so we're still just continuing to edge in the details. I like to go layer by layer, obviously, and put everything into groups so I know what part is which. I find it really helpful when building the overall product to be able to see where I'm at and what I still need to do and what I have already done. And I like to work piece by piece, because then I can feel like, rather than adding detail all at once at the end, I can sort of get a feeling for what I want the overall visual tone to be like while I'm working, rather than doing it at the end. Krys has a very interesting set of armor. It's full plate, and canonically it weighs over 400 pounds. Which I like to think is pretty interesting, given the fact that she's basically just a teacher at Solaria's most prestigious academy, which is sort of like her life's dream. But of course the plot of the ternary storyline kind of pulls her out of that and thrusts her into this situation where she's with people she doesn't know, and she has to make decisions about who can she trust and where are her priorities. But yeah, Autodesk Sketchbook has a lot of really interesting brushes and tools, and it's pretty similar to Photoshop in that you can import your own tools or your own shapes for brushes, so you can kind of draw with whatever you like, which we'll get into a little bit more later, because I do a little bit more of that as the video goes on. But for now, we're just getting all of the final details of her armor, including her feet, which I think I did a pretty good job on the perspective here. I'm not usually terribly good at it, so I think it's good to give myself some credit where I think I did an alright job. I don't think I did great by any means, but I think I did pretty good. But yeah, I think I put a lot of exposure in her left leg there, which was meant to sort of visualize the effect of the sun, because it's at such a harsh angle. The sun will be hitting it at very certain spots. I'm not sure how happy I am with that, but overall I think it looks good enough that I'm not upset about it. Just edging in the details there of the shadow between her foot piece and her leg piece, the calf piece, I guess. Now we're just filling in the dirt ground, taking another look at it just to see kind of what I want to do, thinking about some ideas for it. So what I decided to do overall for this final stretch, which is just the background, is do the ground, make it so the saturation changes from the inner to the outer to sort of highlight her feet and her shadow and where she's coming from, which is intended to sort of draw the eyes into the background where the mountains are. And yeah, so creating the mountain ranges was actually one of the most fun and rewarding pieces of this entire project, because I'm usually not terribly good at mountain ranges, but the way that I did it in this one, in this particular piece, I think is really effective. So this is what I'm talking about when I say allowing you to import different brushes. I use this for an entirely different project, which is also Temporal Shards related, interestingly enough. But these are all different types of tree branches that I'm repurposing to look sort of like grass or various plants. Now we're getting into the sky, which is intended to look very cloudy and angry. Added a quick layer of saturation on top to just kind of bring the color tone down without having to fiddle with every layer individually. Creating the arrow was also a pretty fun ride, because I got to fiddle around with what I have and what I know works. Autodesk Sketchbook comes with so many different types of brushes installed. It's really quite incredible, and the fact that you can make more and download them, and a lot of them, a good percentage of the ones that are really useful are free. I haven't downloaded any for personal experience, just because I don't really need them. If I want a particular look, then I'll create it myself, because it tends to be pretty specific from piece to piece what you need. But you know, I think there's a lot of flexibility in this particular software, so it's definitely worth a shot if you're interested in digital drawing. So now we're kind of reaching the home stretch, or the end game. God, I feel like such a loser for even just saying that. Just because it's such an easy pun to make. But yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just adding some arrows, grabbing them, duplicating the layer, flipping the layer, moving them, and just continuing that to make it look like there's a shower of arrows that have come at her. Making a quick spark against her forehead as the one arrow bounces off, and of course the sheath of her sword, which hangs at her waist. And yeah, so this is the finished piece, since I get the feeling that it probably doesn't look terribly good on the finished screen capture, because it was recording on really low video settings, which is really good, because that means that it isn't going to overwhelm my computer, but it's also not great, because then you don't get to really enjoy the full look of the piece. But I think it came out looking relatively good. I think I really achieved in this piece what I wanted to. Yeah, and I think that's the end of this video. So again, all of the links for the programs that I used are going to be in the description. A lot of them are free, or at the very least I'm using the free versions of those programs. So yeah, have a great day, and I guess I'm signing out. Bye-bye.